Hello, I'm Philip Nemery. I'm a predictive expert from ACP Belux, and today I will analyze with you how you can leverage historical transactions, historical purchases of your customer in order to recommend them the best next offer. In other words, today I will speak about transaction basket analysis. And I will do this analysis by leveraging the tool ACP Predictive Analytics 2.4. I'm speaking to you a business analyst, you a data analyst, or you a data scientist. So don't run away. You are more than welcome to follow this tutorial, and I will give you first a theoretical introduction followed by a hands-on demo of our tool in order to address your business problems. So, could you please tell me what's the difference between the left and the right situation? Sorry? Yes. On the left, where a person is filling in the tank, we are in a situation of BI, dashboarding, looking at what is the situation real time, what is the situation now, or what was the situation. So we looking to the numbers. While on the right, where you have an overheated car, we are in a situation of predictive analytics, more precisely predictive maintenance. Can we predict when a motor will heat up, will blow away? In order to do that, you need to look at lots of historical data, sensor data coming from different places, and build historical models to make a prediction in order to tell the driver, careful, if you continue driving like you do, you will blow up your motor. According to an independent research led by Ventana Research, 68% of organizations that use predictive analytics, they gained a competitive advantage. More precisely, 43% use predictive analytical tool for making product recommendations. So why not you? So to make things a bit concrete, and well, you can apply predictive analytics in a lot of cases, but today we will focus on the following situations. We all face it already. When we go on an e-commerce website, we buy a book or we buy a product and we receive new recommendations. That's what the pictures here below. Or when we're in a shop, we already receive new recommendations about the latest deals. So that's why we call cross-selling opportunities or upselling opportunities. And today, I will explain how easily you can create those cross-sell and those upsell opportunities for your business. So what do you need? Well, you don't need a lot of CRM data. Of course, the more data, the better. But if you just have transactional data, the transactions, and I will explain this, you will be able to make the right recommendation for the right product at the right time for the right customer. So how does it work? Well, I will go more into details now about basket analysis, but there are different types of analysis that you can do, and in later videos I will speak about sequence analysis and social network analysis. But today it's about analyzing transactions for making basket analysis. So on the one side you have products, t-shirts, polos, etc. On the other side you have buyers, consumers, users, right? So Jeff, Mark, Phil, etc. And what you know is that Jeff has been buying 2 t-shirts at a specific date. So the only data that you actually need is a user ID or a username, the product that they've been buying, the date, the quantity, that's optional, and the transaction ID is in case you want to make a difference between 2 cars or 2 transactions, right? Or 2 baskets, put it that way. Once you've got that, just with this simple data set, we will see that together we can make very powerful predictions. So, if you make the two things together, the first thing that you can draw is, okay, how many customers have been buying dresses or skirts? So here we can see that 28099 has been buying a lot of dresses. This I can see it through the width of the arrow linking a user, a buyer, a consumer to a specific product. But I can also look at one specific customer and see what this customer has been buying. So that's what's being depicted here. Okay, but that's nothing really impressive. Let's go further and put those two together. So in this social network, well, actually I can really identify what are the hotspots, what are the products which have been bought a lot. So you can see it here, right? And what are the products that actually not people are buying a lot. But even more powerful is that you can see that there are some products that a lot of people are buying together. And it's exactly what you see here in the middle of the picture is correlation of overlapping, or well, you can see that this product has been bought a lot with this product, and this product has been bought a lot with this product, etc., etc. But then it's all about how can you extract the knowledge of this graph network easily. But before jumping to that, let me continue my story. Another point of interest is seeing, well, you can actually connect every product that has been bought together with another product and link it with that product. So that's what actually has been drawn here. So sets or pullovers have been brought together with other products, and that's why there is an arrow between that product and another product. Indeed, you can play a bit on the threshold. So how many products? Were it just 2 products, or were it just 2 consumers who bought it, or a lot of consumers? So that I actually to filter a little bit the graph. But like here, so here it's a really filtered out graph. But the aim where you finally would like to go to is the following. Is which product should I recommend to which customer? And so that's why we will see in the demo that actually just by specifying the user ID, the system will tell you what are the products that we should recommend to this person and what is the probability that this person will buy the product. Indeed, different users will have different products. You can include or exclude products that the user has already been buying. You can include bestsellers, etc. But wait. What is also very important is not just making those predictions, but as we will see, it's very easy to export this code, this knowledge, this what we call predictive model, into your database, into SQL. And as we can see here, the tool, SAP Predictive 2.0, will extract the model and allow you to put it in your database, to deploy it very easily. And we will see that in a minute in a demo. So let's dive into the product SAP Predictive Analytics 2.4. But before that, let me show you the data that I will use through this demo. So it's a flat file, txt file, and I have a header with different columns. The first column is all about the user ID. So the user 23 has been buying a lot of products, meshes, overalls, etc. I know the date, the quantity, so most of the time 1, but sometimes buying 3, and the transaction ID. So the transaction ID is actually like a basket. It's a one-time going to a shop and buying several products at once. So that's what we consider as a transaction. So that's the thing. When you open SAP Predictive Analytics, you have this following launch screen where you can either go to Data Manager. Data Manager can be used to process your data, to create new features, right? Automatically. Expert Analytics is when you want to build custom-made R components, or when you want to compare different models. You can do that in Expert Analytics model. We will use the automated analytics. Everything will be automated for us, and most precisely the recommendation tool. So we create a new recommender, and the first thing to define is, well, the data that we will use. So here I've got a folder which contains my data, right? And I will open the events, right? So the type of events or transactions that we can analyze is manifold. So it can be purchases, it can be navigations on the web. So you can analyze a lot of transactions. So I will use customer transactions, and I will ask the system to analyze it. So why do I want it to analyze? Is to make a difference between the notion of a date, the notion of an integer, and the notion of a string. So the system automatically recognizes that the user ID is an integer, item purchased is a name, is a text, is a string, and the date is a date. So once I've defined this, I can go to the next screen, and I just need to tell, well, the user is actually defined by user ID. Item is defined by item purchased. Weight, I can leave it blank. It's just to give it a weight. Do I want to make a difference with when different products have been bought several times in one transaction? I can define a date range, so I only want to analyze the transactions between the start date and an end date. And finally, I can define a bestseller, so that's a threshold above which a product will be identified as a bestseller, meaning that, for instance, if you go to supermarket, you have to pay for your plastic bag. So this is typically something that you don't want to consider, you don't want to include in your analysis. So that's why you would call it a bestseller. So you avoid it, and well, it has the advantage of reducing the analysis, so it will be less polluted, but sometimes makes sense to keep those as well. So I will just leave it for the sake at 50,000. I click next, then you have a lot of different tabs that I won't describe for the first time. So I will just describe this one, the recommended tab, where I have to specify 2 parameters, and max iteration is actually how many times do you want to do the analysis before generating the rules. So I will leave it for once, and minimum support is how many times a combination of products have to be present in order to extract a rule. So if I put, for instance, 1 here, then if I have 2 products which have been present only 1 time in one basket, it could be considered as a rule. But in order to avoid too many rules, I can put a higher number and say, for instance, 10. So I go to the next screen. You can specify more advanced parameters of the model, but I'll leave it over for the next time. Oh, and here's the model generated. So at first you see some statistics about the model, so how many users were there, how many transactions have been processed, how many baskets have been processed, etc., etc. But let's dive into directly the core of the results. So let's look at the debriefing tables, and for instance, you can see directly who are the highest buyers, who are the highest items, so meaning the items which have been purchased the most. Who is, or which item is present in most of the rules. So a rule is, if you buy product A and B, well, we should propose them product C. So that's a rule. So we see that t-shirts come a lot of times. You can look at the user connectivity. So how many purchases do most of the users do? So most of the users only buy 1 product, but you see that some of the users buy 9 products. Numbers of connections for products, etc. So let's have a graphical representation of these results. So here you can analyze and represent a graph with either transactions or either the item purchase. So if we look at the transactions, maybe let's first have a look at the user, and one specific user, the one who has buying the most products, user 16019. So if you display this, well, you will see all the products that user 16019 has been buying. So he has been buying a lot of pullovers, he's been buying a lot of trousers, he didn't buy so many plushes, but he has been buying a lot of hats as well. So here you can really see what does one specific user buy. So that's what you could change here. On the other hand, you might be interested in seeing what are the items, well, who has been buying what. So therefore, if you put item purchased and you put a t-shirt, you can display the notes. Well, you will see actually what are actually the products that have been bought together. So if you look at t-shirt, I've chosen t-shirt here. Well, I see all the products that have been bought together with t-shirts, right? So that's what you see here, and it's exactly what you should recommend. Knowing if someone buys a hat, maybe you should present it another product. Or you can go and say, okay, let's look at all the let's look at the item purchased, and let's choose one specific product, and here we will see all the users which have been purchasing overalls, right? But now we can go further and display, as you've seen in the slides, what are all the products that people have been purchasing. So here is the complete graph network of the products and all the users in one particular graph. So how can we leverage this? Well, if you now go to recommendation, you can here specify a user ID, so 16 or 19, right? And you can have for this specific user the recommendations. So what should the system propose him? Can include or exclude the best offers, increase the numbers of products that you would like to consider, you would like to exclude or include products that he has been already purchasing, and that will all influence the recommendations. Well, once that's done, you've seen how you can easily create new recommendations, but then now it's all about how can you deploy it. So if you go to the Run tab here, you can apply this model, and then you would apply it on a new data set, or you can generate new source code. So if you apply on new source codes, well, you can generate very simply the code that have to be pushed in the database, which that can be integrated, embedded into your application, a web UI for instance. And this code, to, for instance, JavaScript, will call the code, the SQL code that we have been just producing, and which will return which product has to be recommended. So that's it for the demo. Let's go back to the presentation. So we've just seen together how it was easy to create a predictive model, a basket analysis, in order to recommend to your customers which product they should buy next. So we've done together a basket analysis, which allows to compute the probability of purchase of a customer for any product you have in your stock. And you're not the only one. So if you look at the following customers, well, they have all been applying the predictive models that I've been showing to you. Sorry, just moving here. So don't hesitate. If you want to have more information, just contact me, just send me an email. You can find here different links to download a trial version of Predictive Analytics, to have a complete solution overview, to have access to the slide deck. Just type my name, Philip Nemery, basket in SlideShare, and you will have access to the slides. Thank you for listening. Shortly, I will make a new video on a new topic, which is social network analysis and sequence analysis. Thank you. Bye.